All right, everyone, welcome. I need to restart this. Give me one second, guys. Apologies. Let me get back into the screen here. All right, sorry about that, guys. I was too busy enjoying all the comments that you guys were already making. It distracted me. So we got some good comments there. Jalen Johnson loves me. Yes, I like that comment. Spencer, bros are breaking the slate tonight. Yeah, I think so. NBA DFS has been brutal this year. I don't know, man. So we did the lineup yesterday. It did pretty well, 305, although the Heat players were let down. But we were talking beforehand, kind of a fun slate. I'll let you kind of give the preview for the slate there, Jarek.
Yeah, looks like a really fun slate. Obviously, the biggest piece of news is SGA is out tonight for OKC. So OKC is dominating the ownership, but we have a bunch of really good plays all around. So excited to break this one down.
And then we did just get some news that, what was it? Kling Yang is going to be out for Portland. So kind of an interesting spot there. We were kind of talking beforehand. We'll have to see if Robert Williams is active or else that could create some value. So we might be getting some interesting value later on in this video that we just don't have yet confirmed. So kind of a fun 5-gamer.
Yeah, man. It's going to be a fun one here.
So yeah, we'll start here with this Portland game. And so we did mention that. So yes, this will have to update here, guys. We'll see. But does that elevate anyone for you, like Denny Avdia, Jeremy Grant at all? Or maybe even Shane Sharp gets a little bit more run? Anything like that for you?
Yeah. The one thing I did want to note is we potentially could see if Robert Williams sits as well. Maybe we slide Jeremy Grant to the 5. They've done it before, so maybe you could give Grant a bump. But I think Denny as well would look a little bit better as well. In Sharp, yeah.
Yeah, let's see it's a 1.5 point spread too, and like the game total is still decently high, 233.5. So yeah, that could be decent. But like even if they do that, we'll get into Memphis in a second. Like that makes I think Jackson and Edey more appealing as well.
For sure, yeah.
Any love for Kamara at all? He's getting heavy minutes, just kind of sucked in the last game. I know that. Not a terrible value though.
Yeah, I think he's fine. Sorry, I was checking the news. They said Time Lord was out as well. So who did you mention? I'm sorry.
I mentioned Kamara.
Yeah, I think he's fine. He might look a little bit better now with all these forwards out. So I think he's fine as ownership.
So we'll refresh this in a second. So we do need to talk about Reith as well. I think he'll be the one that ends up starting most likely. We need the minutes projection update. If he starts, is he someone you're looking at all?
Yeah, I think he's obviously a pretty good DFS producer, so I'd definitely be interested in him. But like you mentioned, we'll just have to wait and see who they start there.
Yeah, this could be elite value with him, or even I doubt it'd be Yang, but maybe him as well. Like if we get one of these two starting, playing even 12 minutes at 3K is a little bit appealing.
Yeah, 100%. We'll have to see. It could be Yang. I really don't know. I assume Reith, but we'll have to see.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and jump on into Memphis. And yeah, I do think Edey actually becomes much more appealing with that news there. He's already pretty chalky, and I'm curious to see if that will go up or stay the same with that news. But who are you looking at here for Memphis?
Yeah, you mentioned that really good. I think both of the bigs here, Edey and Jaren Jackson, are going to look awesome here now. I love Jaren on DK. I think he looks great, sub 7K. And then obviously Edey looks great as well. So those are the two primary ones for me. And then not much else here I loved. Cedric Howard's pulling some steam. What are your thoughts on Memphis here?
Yeah, I'm fine getting to, anyone. We had the Cam Spencer call out as well with the Spencer bros. I honestly don't mind, like, if we could set I don't know if it's necessary we need to do it, but like if we were to set a rule to be on like maybe Edie or Jackson and then being on one of William, Spencer, or Coward as well, like I wouldn't mind doing it that way. I don't think we need to do that, but like that's kind of my thought process for Memphis, because I do think at least one of those two are going to hit value, and we do see the ownership for Cedric Coward a little bit high there, and Vince Williams isn't all too high, although on FanDuel it's a little bit higher, and Spencer's, I mean, a little fun to play, but nothing that we need to go out of our way to target, really.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's mainly the bigs here and mix in a little bit of the other guys in tournaments.
Mm-hmm. Then we got Danny asking, what is the best max exposure play, I'm assuming? We'll see once we get that Portland update here. That's going to be important. It probably will be one of those bigs.
Yeah, I think so. They're both 3K, so we'll have to wait and see on that.
Or we'll jump into the next game here. We got Charlotte versus Denver, guys. So Charlotte is extremely banged up. LaMelo Ball out, Diaby out, Green out, Mann out, Sexton out, Grant and Pat Connaughton still out as well. So they're pretty thin. What I don't like here is when I'm looking at this, we're seeing 2-3 players projected for 33 plus minutes. Everyone else kind of spreading it out. So do you see a must play here, or is it kind of spreading it out? What are your thoughts here for Charlotte?
Yeah, so we were talking pre-stream. I think we both agree that KJ Simpson, Kenneth Simpson, probably the top play here. Super cheap both sides. So he's my favorite play. And then between Miller and Bridges, I think I lean Miller. But I think they both look great in tournaments. I mean, Bridges has a huge ceiling as well with no LaMelo.
So I don't know. I was doing some like prop betting stuff earlier, and I was looking at like the per 36 production with Ball off the court, and those two players, Bridges and Miller, get worse actually. And I think it's just Ball being a facilitator. And then you also tack on the fact that it could be a blowout. It's tough to not play them, right? Because naturally they should pick up more usage, and they do in some cases. But at the same time, it's like, dang, that data really just kind of, I wish I didn't see that almost, so I could just play them with confidence. I think they're probably a little bit overvalued with that, even though they are pretty cheap. I mean, Miller and Bridges could both go for 40 plus here tonight, and I'll be kicking myself, but I'm pretty underweight on both of them right now, which could easily be the bad part about tonight for me, for sure.
Yeah, I think one more thing, kind of what you said. If you're not playing as much Miller or Bridges, and this game does get out of hand, maybe we go lower on Jokic because we think that gets out of hand.
Yeah. Any love for, and I always butcher his name. I'm not going to try to say it, but the power forward here for Charlotte that I've highlighted, projected to get 22 minutes. I think he's someone that could end up getting a little bit more run in a blowout. Price below 4K, decent value on DraftKings, 17.1 for value. So like the third best value for Charlotte. I think he's a decent lineup filler, and if we get some of that Portland news maybe later on, we can swap that up. I think he's solid. Do you like him at all? Again, I'm not going to butcher his last name or first name right now.
No, man, I can't say it either. But yeah, I think if we're playing that script, I definitely think he's a great play with KJ. So I agree. If we're lower on those other guys, I think he makes sense with KJ.
And then James, probably not at all, right? He's projected for 27 minutes, but not a really high usage rate player.
Yeah, I'm not really high on Sion. I just don't think he brings a really high DFS ceiling. More defensive. Okay.
Yeah, we'll jump on into the other side of this game. So we have Denver, same 3 players out with Braun, Gordon, and Strawthard out. I've been getting to a decent amount of Peyton Watson, just to kind of starting out my builds with those players off the court, but I feel like he's finally priced up enough. Is there anyone that you're looking at here for Denver?
Yeah, so we briefly touched on it. I think Jokic, obviously, if we think this game stays close, looks great. Now, if we don't think that, I think we probably want to go to other mid-tier guys like Denny and the other games. But I think he looks great here if this game does play to the 10.5 point spread. And then after Jokic, you mentioned Watson. I think he's a great mid-tier play. I might be lower on Murray tonight just with how many great true point guard plays we have. So I think Murray's like the guy I'm going to come under with the most on here.
Does J-Val get any additional run if it does end up being a blowout? Like if we can get him to 15, 16 minutes, I think he could be in play at 3.6. I also don't know if we necessarily need to do that now with the likely Portland value.
Yeah, I think he would get a couple more minutes for sure, but I don't know if he would get like all the blowout run, right? Probably a couple
Mhm.
minutes, but nothing too
Yeah.
much.
And then we have Jose saying, yeah, both Kling and Robert Williams have been ruled out. Yeah, we'll touch on that again in a few minutes here. Once we go through the games, we'll see how the data has updated there. So we'll jump in that in just a second. But let's go ahead here and jump on into the next game, which will be Golden State here versus the Chicago Bulls. So I will say I was a little bit surprised by the game total here, only 230. The Bulls have had some pretty high game totals, but I'll let you hype up Pat Spencer here.
Yeah, man. Shout out to mention the Spencer Bros in the chat. I'm leaning towards the Pat Spencer tonight. I think he looks great. Obviously, coming off a really good game last game. I think he's a core play here, both sides. And then I really wanted to hear your take on Golden State here because outside of Spencer, I didn't love much from.
Well, I am struggling with what to do with Quinn Post. He's someone that projected for 28.5 minutes. Like if he's going to get that, I'm pretty interested in him on both sites as well, especially at his current ownerships. Like he doesn't grade out the best value wise on either site, and I don't necessarily want to eat up the center spot for him, but I do want to be overweight. It's just how much, maybe 10% instead of 6%, just because I do kind of like him more as like a point per dollar type of player. After that, like you would think Jimmy Butler would be able to have a good game, but I think he's priced correctly. And then I think the data just basically has it right. Like, and kind of the ownership for the most part is about Pat Spencer and then figuring out from there, although I'll be on post a little bit more than the field.
Yeah, did you have any thoughts on Milton? Projected for 17 minutes. I think he could get there in 17 minutes. But did you like him at all at his ownership?
Yes and no. Like he's someone that I clearly mispriced on DraftKings. I don't see him as like a must play by any means. I think the 20% is correct there. I'm definitely happy to be even weight with him, especially like roster construction wise. I think it makes a lot of sense that he's guard, small forward. I just like tamper expectations. I don't think he's going to like necessarily break the slate, although I do think he could be in the winning lineup as well.
100%. I think that's kind of where I want to be too. Is just match the field here. I agree.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we'll jump on into the other side of this game. So kind of interesting here for the Bulls. Zach Collins is expected back. Kobe White is active. Patrick Williams is active, or they're all probable, sorry. And then AO is currently questionable. So I don't know. Like this kind of muddies the situation, I think, for the Bulls in general. And I think the public's kind of seeing that as well. Some people are getting to Josh Giddey, and that's about it. Do you see it the same?
Yeah, I think with obviously Kobe back here, it's just Gady is fine. Like I think he does have a ceiling. I just don't love the price and matchup here. The guy I was getting to the most was Matas in this mid tier just to fill in forward spots. So I prefer Matas the most, but I don't love this spot here for Chicago.
Yeah, I haven't really gotten to much of Chicago, just like at all. So I was hoping you could talk me into some plays. Maybe I don't. It's tough, especially
Yeah,
because we are going to begin to Golden State Warriors plays.
yeah, it's tough, right? Like, Kobe White could flash the ceiling. Like, there's a lot of guys that could. I just, in terms of like getting to them, I struggle to like pick out one that I loved on this team.
Mm-hmm. We got an interesting question here. Plays where salary means nothing. Need to swap out Donovan Kling. Could you rank these? Senti, Ace Bailey, KJ Simpson, Cam Spencer. No, I'm just kidding. I'll rank it real quick and you tell me if I'm wrong. I think Senti, Spencer, Simpson, Ace Bailey. Although Ace Bailey and KJ, I think, are pretty interchangeable.
I would go probably KJ over Santi, and then I'd have the rest the same how you had it. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so we'll jump on in here to the next game. So we got the Lakers here versus Philadelphia. For Philadelphia, Embiid and Paul George are probable. Okay, so Kelly Oubre still out. And then for the Lakers, Marcus Smart still out, LeBron James active. I think with LeBron being active, that does make some of the plays for the Lakers much more difficult to get to at their prices. Do you see any way we can gain some like leverage on the field by being on the Lakers, or is this kind of correct with the ownerships right now?
I think it's probably correct, man. I think Luka Doncic would be my favorite if I can get to him.
Mm-hmm.
12,400. He's just been the alpha there this year, right? So
Mm-hmm.
Luka, if I can get up to him, And other than that, like Austin Reeves is now up to 10K, probably because
No.
Luka's been out, so I'm off him. And yeah, it's mainly just Luka for me. How about you?
Yeah, I agree. The only thing I could see doing, and it's definitely getting too cute, is on FanDuel, like maybe being underweight on Luka, and this is only playing on both sides. Be underweight on Luka and then be overweight on Reeves. That'd basically be the only. Like again, I think that's too cute, but I think at Reeves' price, it's something you can do, especially with the shooting guard, small forward eligibility. But that's about it. I don't necessarily even like LeBron, who's $1,000 cheaper on FanDuel. He's coming at 17% owned. I don't even necessarily like that. Which, I mean, like, isn't that crazy? Like at the start of the year, if you had said that to like anyone, he's going to get 34 minutes in a decently high scoring game, and he's 8K. Like we're not getting to him. He's not extreme chalk. Like that's kind of crazy.
It's definitely crazy. Like 8K Braun last year, we would have been laughing and not getting him, but now it's like, well, he hasn't proven it to us yet, so why should we get to him, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, so we'll jump into some more questions as well. Wallace over Cam Spencer. We'll get into that in just a second here, and actually, let's just do that. We'll get into that in just a second. I think that's a good question here. Which Spencer is the core play? I mean, it's Pat, right?
Yeah, Pat Spencer for sure.
And Cam's decent.
Cam's okay, yeah. I think he's fine.
Okay. Then we'll get into some more here, guys, in just a second, but we'll jump on into Philly here now as well. So for Philly, in a weird way, I kind of like that Embiid and George are active in this game. It should keep the game close, high scoring as well. And so I do think there's a little bit of an opportunity there to game stack this game. Maybe that's a way we get, exposure and overexposure to some of these plays. But because everyone's kind of active in this game, the prices are a little bit priced up. So where are you at here with the Sixers?
Yeah, I feel like Philly's kind of similar to Chicago for me. I think they're all like fine as tournament stabs. Tyrese Maxey's still my guy here, 10,500. If I'm getting to someone here, it's probably him for his ceiling in this spot. But other than Maxey, I don't have very much exposure here to anyone. How about you?
I'm fine getting to Paul George. That's basically it. He's kind of chalky at 12%. It's mostly a pricing thing. Data decently likes him. I can get behind that. If the data was saying he's terrible, I would be like, all right, I'm completely wrong there. But decent value rating. I think he's more of what I call like a shoulder shrug play, closing out my build, end up on him, shrug my shoulders. I'm good with it. That's kind of how I see him. But I like him.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's fine as a filler play as well, especially if we're off Miller. I think he makes a lot of sense around the price.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we'll jump on into the last game, and then we'll take some more questions. But we'll start with those OKC questions that we were getting. So let me talk about who's out. Caruso, Dort, SGA, Hartenstein, Joe, and Topic is out as well. And so we'll answer the questions first here. We'll go back to that Wallace over Spencer, then question mark. I don't know what the DK. I think Wallace actually is a little bit better DK value. So do you see it that way?
Yeah, I think it's actually pretty close. I would lean Wallace based off the model and what most people have, but I think it's probably Wallace. How about you?
Well, I'll ask you this question because I kind of see it this way. Does it really matter? I guess. Like, I think I'm probably just playing both of them. Is my kind of thought.
Yeah, I think they're so close. I think you could probably play either one or both. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. If I had to choose, I probably would go with Pat Spencer a little bit more, just because maybe it ends up being more of an AJ Mitchell game or something, or Jalen Williams finally gets going in a high usage spot maybe for him. That'd be the only reason I have, but you could also make that same argument with Jimmy Butler and Melton for that matter as well.
Man, there's too many Spencers. Was he referring to Pat Spencer? I thought he was talking about the other Spencer. That's on me. I would go Pat Spencer if that was the 2v2.
Okay, yeah, I think it was Pat Spencer. I'm assuming. Yeah, you're right. We need some confirmation there.
Too many Spencers, man. What's going on today?
Yeah. So we got another question. We're kind of just breaking down the slate right now. We'll go ahead at the end of this video and kind of give you guys core plays. Basically, whenever someone's in elite value, they're going to be a core play, or when the OF index is extremely high in them. Also, you could consider them a core play. We're just breaking down the slate right now for you guys to give you guys the information for you guys to use and see successful. That being said, do you see anyone here or how many players here for OKC do you see as core plays?
Yeah, so obviously all these guys look great. To me, the two I like the most here are AJ Mitchell and Jalen Williams with an E. I think they both look great. The only other guy I'm like trying to get overweight on here, I think Kaysen's great, but I really like Aaron Wiggins in tournaments for his ceiling. So he's a guy I'm trying to get overweight here. How did you feel about OKC in this one?
Yeah, my general thoughts are I don't know exactly who to be on, other than like Wallace, who's I think is a little bit too cheap. I just want to be on a decent amount of them, like 3 of their plays, because I could talk myself into a lot of the plays is the issue. And maybe that's the correct answer. Jalen Williams is appealing, AJ Mitchell is appealing, Kendrick Williams at almost the min price, multiple position eligibility, pretty appealing. You mentioned Aaron Wiggins. I agree with that ceiling call out. Chat, like he picks up a decent amount of usage. Power forward, center eligible on FanDuel, pretty appealing there. So maybe that is the correct answer. Is maybe 4 even, but that's kind of the tough part I think about this whole slate is how many OKC players are too many.
Yeah, man, and it's like one of the best spots on the slate against Utah too. So very tough to avoid these guys.
Mm-hmm. And what's interesting is it's a 10.5 point spread in favor of OKC winning here in a decent game total, which we'll get into Utah here. Utah could actually be without Lauri Markkanen in this game. He got downgraded to questionable with an illness. So I don't necessarily like that. Well, that's not true. I was going to say for some of the OKC plays, I think that would help. It wouldn't hurt Wallace or Mitchell too much. Maybe Chet and Jalen, the good Jalen Williams, some. But do you have any like thoughts on if Lauri Markkanen sits? I know I'm kind of throwing that to you. Who would we be on, or this just be a spot where then Utah's not as appealing?
Yeah, so I think well, first of all, I think he probably plays with the spread still 10.5 here. But if he does miss, the guy I would look to the most here is probably Filipowski for me. I do like his price. I think he would potentially pick up the start. I think Ace Bailey would look a lot better as well in tournaments. So those are the 2 guys I primarily look at. But what did you think here overall about Utah?
Yeah, I would probably agree with that. Ace Bailey maybe would just have a higher floor minutes wise, and he's fine. He's kind of got the price adjustment down already. Keontae George is somewhat always appealing, I would say, below 8K. If the game stays close, he's going to be part of the reason as to why. So, like, I don't mind him. Other than that, I do feel like the pricing is kind of correct. Yusuf Nurk's a little bit in play, I would say, on FanDuel, but I don't necessarily want to eat the center spot with him, so I understand why he's not getting that much ownership.
Yeah, it's just OKC still like it's crazy. Minus SGA, they're still a really good defensive team, so it's by no means an easy matchup here still for Utah.
Mm-hmm. We got Absolute Power saying Reith is going to be in play. So yeah, let's go ahead and just go back to that Portland game here, and we'll jump into that. I'll try to get into some more questions, guys. Keep those coming in. Try to answer as many as we can, and then we'll give you guys a first look build here as well. So let's see what it updated to here. Reith 22 minutes, Yang 15 minutes. We'll see what the ownership updates to as well. Obviously, we still have some time there. Does this change anything? Confirm anything for you?
Yeah, I think we both liked Reith. I don't know if he's like a smash play like Jamin Sure lineups, but he's definitely going to be firmly in play for value now.
Yeah, let's just plug him in and let's kind of do a dummy build, and then we'll jump into some questions. So Reith, Spencer, and also Wallace, right? It's kind of
I think Wallace is good. I think one of Wallace or AJ Mitchell we definitely want to get in.
Do you want to do both, or is that, and then we can upgrade if needed?
Yeah, we can do that. Is Kaysen, shooting guard, perfect. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. So then we have 8.5 left over. So we could easily fit in Jokic, Luka, Maxey, Giddey, really anyone. I mean, we could make Denny Avdias kind of chalky. We could fit him in. It's kind of really opens the slate up by doing that.
Yeah, I really like Denny tonight in this spot against Memphis. So let's throw him in there.
Okay. And then probably someone else from OKC, right? Maybe not too much. Maybe Chet.
Yeah,
maybe Jalen.
Yeah, I was gonna say Jalen with the E.
Okay, we'll get him in there. So that gets us to our forward spot. So we got power forward and also utility spot open. I'm actually curious just to see what the data says here for power forward. Oh, if index wise, um, get the DK main slate going. Does like Bridges? Was it Bridges the most? Not necessarily the best here though. I will say for like index wise.
Yeah, for cheap, we have your guy Saloon at mint price. If you go him, if you want to go crazy, since
Let's
well,
do that just for
let's do
fun.
it. Let's do it.
Guys, you can upgrade this. You don't have to do it, obviously. Then we got
Oh,
Jokic.
perfect. I mean, what else could you ask for right there?
that is the slate, though. I mean, I really don't hate this lineup. It's probably a decent amount of chalk here, but different enough as well.
No, I like it. I mean, you got value all over, so it's solid.
The worry would be the game blowing out, obviously, and maybe we only get 50 out of Jokic, which I don't. It's a 5-game slate. There's not necessarily, I would say, elite studs with LeBron being active for the Lakers. So,
The other guy that I like that we mentioned is I think Jaren Jackson would be a really good power forward play to correlate there with Denny as well.
Edie as well, just for yeah. Let's see here. So we'll jump into some more questions. Yeah, both hopefully, right? Let's hope it goes both ways there. Let's see here. So do you think one of Luka or Jokic is needed? That's a good question. I think that really depends on if Reith or like Henson goes off. If they end up being chalk, I would say probably, right? But if they don't, if like one of those Portland bigs don't go off, then no.
Yeah, I think. Well, first of all, we need two things to go. We need to get the value right, and then we need the Jokic to hit a ceiling. So if you get either one of those wrong, you're probably not going to get a shit. So that's kind of how I put it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, we didn't even get to KJ Simpson as well in that build.
Yeah, he's great as well. I mean, there's so many great guard plays today. I was talking to Nick pre-stream. There's just so many great point guard plays. You can only play like two of them, true point guard. So.
Yeah, that's kind of the tough part is that the top 3 values or ownership plays are point guards. So that's what makes it difficult.
For sure.
Giddy and Reith or Khan and JJ for FanDuel.
Ooh, I'm gonna go. I don't know. I'm gonna have you answer that one first, and I'm thinking.
I'd probably say the first one, but I'm going to go with the first one. But Jaren Jackson with the power forward eligible and center eligibility does become appealing as well there. So I get it. I get the question, but yeah, the first one a little bit more for me.
I think first one for the ceiling, I would go with Giddy. Yeah.
So we got a question about Edie. Let's just talk about him again here, kind of why we like him. I can start. It's mostly matchup wise. Like he does draw a pretty darn good matchup now with Portland being banged up big wise. Projected to get 30 minutes. Decent game, close game, and so that's appealing. I don't think we have to worry about foul trouble with him as well. That's a kind of a cushion there.
Yeah, 100%. Great matchup. You mentioned it, and he's going up against Reith, so not too much to worry about there.
Mm-hmm. We did get an interesting question here. So yeah, I think Edie should smash kind of regardless, but yeah, if Grant is on him, even better spot. You see anything for the starting lineup just yet? I know we should be getting kind of soon, but we do start a little bit early on Sundays because of NFL.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything yet. Nothing yet for starting lineups.
We got someone saying AO is going to try to play.
Yeah.
Didn't want to call it the full comment there. Yeah.
We'll get restricted by YouTube.
Yeah, right. My bad there. We'll do one more refresh and then we can get out of here. Did you want to try to redo the build with Simpson in there, or is it fine?
Yeah, let's try to redo it with Simpson. Should we just plug in all 3 point guards up here and see what we're left with?
Yeah, we'll do that. So instead, we'll take Jokic out. We'll put Simpson in there for now. Obviously, we would adjust this based off of the time, but so we'll do that. We obviously have a lot to pay up for here. Obviously, I think we get off of the Charlotte power forward.
We can go also one of JJJ or Edie. I'm fine with either one. Like I don't think Reith is a must, but I think he's fine.
Okay, we'll get Edie in there.
I love it.
And then 8.7. I don't hate Jimmy Butler. He's not a must play by any means, though.
Yeah. Should we come off Kaysen and see what we can get potentially?
Sure. Shooting guard that gets us to Reeves. We had a question about Grimes. I'm okay with Grimes. It seemed as a shoulder short play, but this is kind of my issue. Like none of these plays are like, yay. I don't need to get to like. I think it is Wallace or Cam Spencer instead.
Yeah, we can. Speaking of Spencer, should we just go double Spencer? Just.
I mean, we got it. That's fun, right?
Let's do it. It's the same thing. Never mind. We can't.
It is the same thing, but it's fun. We'll put them in there. I think I was gonna say getting off of Denny Avdia makes sense, but I kind of like Grant as price tag as well. Like, but we have so much salary left over. This is kind of the slate here, I guess. Is too much salary. Maybe go up from AJ Mitchell. I know we kind of just mentioned that wasn't the purpose of this.
Yeah,
but,
we could get off AJ potentially.
And then, yeah, that's ugly. I mean, it really is. I think it is a slate where Jokic or Maxey or like one of those plays are kind of needed. Reeves, not Reeves, Luka. I think that's kind of needed.
Yeah, I think Jokic is probably. I mean, he's not a core play, but it's very difficult to not get to him with all these values.
Like we'll put him in there, and then we have 3.9 left over, which is a very viable option still on this slate, as we kind of called out. So, yeah.
I like it. That looks like a pretty solid core right there.
Yeah, definitely. We'll do one more quick refresh here. And then we'll see just to make sure. I do want to just pull up the Portland again. Obviously, this will be updating guys on this data up until lineup lock. You guys can check out the Discord as well, the Occupy Discord there. Still the same roughly here. So not too much chalk for Reith yet. It's mostly just Avdia, Sharp with a little bit of a mince bump, and then Grant.
Yeah. I think that looks great. We didn't mention Sharp. I think he looks great too. If you want to get to him as well.
Yeah, I small forward eligibility. I think that does help on the slate.
Yeah, I have a question for you, Eric. How much Portland would you feel good about getting to in one lineup on this slate?
3. I would say 3. Just I forget where the other games. Yeah, the other games are all a little bit later, and so don't necessarily want to overload on them too much. With 3 games later, we're not really waiting on too much news, just the marketing news, but that does leave you a little bit of wiggle room there. But I think anything more than that is too much. But at the same time, it is Avdia, Grant, Sharp, maybe Kamara, maybe Reith. That's about it. So like you probably wouldn't get more than 3 either way.
Yeah, I agree. I was going to say probably I'm looking at, 2 is probably where I'm looking at, but I think 3 would be okay.
Let me just rapid fire these questions here as well. So the Charlotte pick, who I'm just, again, I need to listen to the name like 20 times from like his highlight video. And then Kenrick Williams for OKC. I'll say I like them both. I think they're both in play for sure. What about you? Either a lean there?
Man, I would probably say you talk me in Saloon. I would probably say Saloon here for me.
And then Ryan Kalkbrenner. I always call him Chalkbrenner because he disappoints when he's that's going back to college basketball. But do you like him at all tonight?
I think he's fine. It's a very tough matchup against who are they playing? Are they playing Jokic? Yeah, tough matchup against Jokic. So I don't love it.
And then KJ Simpson is the play that, as we kind of showed you guys, but we have a bunch of other guys that are also the play at point guard. That's the tough part. Ryan Kalkbrenner is really popping up value-wise right now, just as an FY. So weird center slate, I think, because we're probably just paying up for Jokic at this point, or ED.
Yeah, Kalkbrenner is kind of a model darling, is like I like to call it. He's always up there for the most part. So
it's minutes, right? He gets 30 minutes. All right, he's appealing,
for sure.
And then last question here, Denny Avdia or third, I'm assuming OKC play. Kind of seems like the question tonight, honestly. It's like, all right, Chet Holmgren for a little bit of a price discount, or the good Jalen Williams, or go with Denny Avdia for a little bit of a pay up.
I think it's probably Denny for me, but that's tough to answer that question because, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then any final thoughts there for you?
Yeah, just kind of monitor who starts for Portland. They could go a variety of ways, so we'll have to monitor that. But really fun slate tonight. The one thing that I do want to address is if you're playing Jokic, try to get to at least some Charlotte exposure, because if we want Jokic's ceiling, we're going to want some Charlotte to run it back with.
Definitely. All right, guys, that is going to do it for this live stream. At the top of the hour, we'll have the NFL live stream going for you guys as well. So jump into that. But thank you guys for watching. Good luck with all your lineups tonight.
Thank you guys. Good luck.